back, you whiskey-loving legends, on another episode of Was It Worth It Whiskey. Today, we're going to be looking at the Macallans, 12-year-old sherry oak, Highland single malt, exclusively matured in Spanish oak casks, natural colour, 40% ABV. So we're guessing it's chill filter. Well, it definitely is to a degree. Never mind. Now, Macallan's does get a bit of a bad rap, especially from people who've been, drinking whiskey for some time. I don't know if you've ever asked a avid whiskey drinker what they think of Macallan's, and you generally don't get a very promising story. They usually talk a lot about the price and how overpriced it is, and it is. But they're overpriced for a good reason, because it's very good, but more than being good, it's very consistent, extremely consistent. From a Macallan's 2 or 3 years ago would generally be almost identical to now. It's that consistency that keeps on bringing people back. When we think of a lot of other new distilleries or little smaller distilleries, you could get a really lovely dram. And 1 year, and then the next year, that same bottle, whatever it may be, could and would and probably did and probably does taste completely different. Now, that might be for the better or might be for the worst. But it's that consistency that brings people back to things like Macallan. It's like McDonald's. It's exactly what you're going to get. And I think this one's no different, except for this one's the sherry oak. So let's give it a go and let's see whether it can actually rank up with a thumbs up on the Was It Worth It score. All right, for a nose. Let's give it a bit more time, I think, in the glass. It's straight up sherry, right? And it should be. I get a vanilla, some orange, bit of chocolate, plums, and there's a really good whack of oak, like nice oak, These are very typical Macallan's notes. And about that consistency, there's a definite Macallan's. You can always tell a Macallan's when you smell it. There's a little bit of malt, like a tiny little bit of malt, which is nice, and maybe even some vanilla ice cream in it that just kind of wraps it all together. So quite a nice little complex nose. For the palate, sherry, of course. Straight away sherry. I get this really nice, lovely peppery oak. I get some apricots, some figs, and it's a bloody nice drink. It's smooth but has a nice spice kick to it. It's really nice. I also get more of that vanilla ice cream on the palate as well. So it's got a little bit of creaminess to it, which is good. Now on the finish, I get it's a delightful oak spice finish. Once again, that classic Macallan's that they've really done their casks really well, picked their casks really well, and that oak really shines through. I get some orange rind on the finish too, some raisins, some more figs, more sherry, a little bit of maybe star anise, and then maybe even a slight bit of mint to the end as well. So a lovely, fairly, I'm not going to say complex, but extremely well balanced sherry whiskey. And I find it hard to believe that any sherry loving whiskey drinker out there would dislike to drink this. I mean, for sure, there's better ones out there. But the fact that you always know what you're going to get with Macallans, like I said, it's the consistency. And Macallans have done that really, really well. So we'll go with a score first, 1 out of 100. So for the nose, I'm going to give it 89 points. Beautiful nose, really, really nice. And the palate, I'm going to give it 87 points. Once again, a nice palate. And the finish, I'm going to give it 88 points because the finish is, it's long, it's complex or well balanced, and there's no bad flavors, and you keep on getting a cycle of these really nice little flavors. And anyway, so that gives a grand total 1 out of 100 score of 88 points, which is a pretty good score. Again, on a was it worth it score, this is when it comes down to it. So I got this bottle for £64. You can also get it for 120 AUD or 90 USD. Now on that price against the score, now it's available, so I can't add that in. You can get it anywhere. But I think it's definitely a thumbs up, and I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. This is a whiskey that you really can't go wrong with. If you have it on a shelf, if someone comes to your house and wants to try some whiskey, wants to try some sherried whiskey, this one's always going to be a great place to start. Yes, there's more complex ones. Yes, there's better ones. But for a consistent product, this is really good. Now, when you get to the older Macallans, then we really start to see the price soar. And maybe we'll do some reviews on those too. And maybe we won't get to the thumbs up on those and the was it worth it. But for this one, the 12-year-old sherry cask, thumbs up, 7 out of 10. Cheers.